watching the Wise Channel. This is a very, very special edition. Now here's my dad.
You're watching a special edition of the Wise Channel, and today we have a request from my last post to do word problems. Word problems, yuck, right?
I love them.
You do? Oh, that's fabulous. So, here's an example of a word problem. I'm going to use my daughter as an example. All right? You, daughter, are driving a bus. At your first stop, 10 people get on the bus. At your second stop, 2 people get off the bus and 7 people get on the bus. At your third stop, 3 people get off the bus and 9 people get on the bus. What is the name of the bus driver? What is the name of the bus driver?
Me, Adriana.
Because
it said it right here.
you are driving a bus.
You have to read the whole thing so
whole
you
thing.
Understand what the word problem is about.
Exactly.
Because you have to read the whole thing to know what the answer is.
And sometimes there's information that you don't need. Okay? Now, Adriana wanted to make her own problem, so...
And I also want to say it, so...
Okay. This is a problem created by Adriana.
So, Charles wanted 52 bags of chocolate. Jeez, is that a lot? He got the bags, but he gave 16 bags to his friends and lost 18 bags.
Wow.
Then he bought 60 more bags. How many more bags of chocolate would he have if you took away 5? Now, I'm going to calculate this on my phone, but you still really need to focus, okay?
Okay. Go ahead.
So,
do the problem for them.
52 minus 16 minus 18
Equals.
plus
Okay, plus.
60 minus 5 equals 73. Now
Okay.
you have your answer.
Good.
Now 73. You need to focus for this one because
Okay.
this one is very, very, very hard. You
Okay.
have to take away so many
Thank you
times.
very much. Wonderful.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness,
thank
this
you.
is
Thank
hard.
Okay. Thank you very much. My goodness, complicated. Okay.
I am complicated.
So, my good friend and colleague, Nancy Jeffrey, always likes to joke about the dreaded train problems. So, well, here we go, Nancy. I decided I'm going to talk about this for you. All right? First of all, I want to say, what does 35 miles per hour actually mean? To everybody, you look at it on your speedometer on your car, right? And you think, that's what 35 is. Well, do you actually realize that if you drive for 1 hour and you travel 35 miles, then you've gone 35 miles in 1 hour, or 35 miles per hour. For 2 hours, that means you would go 70 miles. 35 plus 35 is 70, right? 3 hours, 105. The whole concept of distance is this whole concept that rate times time equals distance, right? However fast you're driving times the number of hours, that's the distance. For example, 3 hours at 35 miles per hour, 35 times 3 equals 105. Rate times time equals distance. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
So all you have to do is add the miles.
Multiply.
Multiply. Yes,
Okay.
multiply. Sorry, I meant multiply.
All right. So first, before we do the next problem, Adriana and I are going to show you something here. We're going to explain something here. How do I get it to show this way?
You can just turn it on,
All
maybe.
right. All right. So now.
We're gonna go from the wall.
No, from here to the wall.
From
okay?
here to the
from
wall.
Here
Yes.
To here. Okay.
Yep.
So Adriana is gonna start first, and then I'm gonna start after her. So Adriana's gonna go. All right. Adriana's going. Now I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna go faster. Here I go. I'm going faster and stop. Notice that I've caught up to Adriana. I went faster, she went slower, but would you agree that we've covered the exact same distance?
And it's because I started, but I got farther, but he got faster, and then we got to the same point.
Because we covered the same distance, okay?
Yep.
So that's an important concept to understand right there. All right, so now, going back here. Adriana, I need you to stop that for a moment, please. Okay. So now, you want to read it?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
So, this is what I'm going to read after my
Just
dad.
go ahead, read it.
Alright. Me, Adriana, takes off on her bicycle at 30 miles per hour. 1 hour later, her dad took off after her at 48 miles per hour. How long did it take Adriana's dad to catch her?
Okay, so what we're talking about is, once again, rate times time equals distance, okay? Now, here's the whole point here. If Adriana's dad is taking off after Adriana and wants to catch up to her, if he's going to catch up to her, does it make sense that the distance for Adriana is going to equal the distance for Adriana, right? So that means Adriana's distance equals Dad's distance,
Yeah,
right?
that does make sense.
I'm so glad. So Adriana's distance is rate times time. So what is Adriana's rate times time? Adriana's rate is 30, okay? And do we know her time? No. So what should we call her time if we don't know what it is? I'm going to call it T for time. Because she went T hours. We don't know how long that is. Now, that's equal to her dad's distance, right? Now, how long has her dad been going? Now, if Adriana has been going 10 hours, well, her dad took off after her 1 hour later, right? So if she's been going for 10 hours, how long has her dad been going? If I took off 1 hour after you, aren't I going 9 hours, right? If you went 6 hours, I'm going what? 5 hours, right?
It's always like one less.
It's always one less, right? So if she is T, I'm going to be T minus 1. Oh,
Dun, dun,
dun,
dun.
dun. Okay, so Dad is 48 times T minus 1. That is the amount of time that Dad's going compared to Adriana.
So if basically this is equal to all of this here.
Very good. So I'm going to
Because
do this. 30T. Sorry, this is something you don't know yet, but that's okay. I'm going to distribute 48T minus 48. Okay. So then if I minus 48T from both sides, I get negative 18T equals negative 48.
I think I can tell what it
When I divide by 3, 48 divided by 18 is 18. It is just under 3. Okay? Yeah, could you do 48 divided by 18 for me, please? Divided by 18 is 2.6. All right, 2 2/3 hours. Okay?
There's more.
Right. If I do, right, 2 2/3 hours. Okay? And that's how you do that. I'm going to give you another example involving Adriana and her dad. All right? Because this time, Adriana is coming from one city and her dad is coming from another city, and they're going to meet in between. Okay?
Also, like basically, if I were here and you
And
were
over
here
there.
and we had to go here, both of us,
Right,
we would meet each
in
other.
between, right? So at 9 o'clock a.m., Adriana left Whoville, traveling 30 miles per hour, heading east. Her dad left Danville at 9 a.m. also, okay, traveling 40 miles per hour, heading west. Okay? If the two cities are 210 miles apart, what time did they meet?
Can I
Again.
do a question real quick?
Okay, go ahead.
So for an example, what if this was, like, what if I was heading here and you were heading here? How would we meet up to each other? Because we're
That's
splitting
a great
up.
question. We're going to do this one first, and then we'll go to that question, okay?
Okay.
Good. All right, rate times time equals distance, okay? So, what's the rate for Adriana? Okay, well, the rate for Adriana is 30. What's the amount of time? Well, we don't know. She started at 9 o'clock, all right? Time is going to be t, okay? The distance, all right, is going to be 30t because it's rate times time, okay? For her dad, okay, his rate is going to be 40 and his time is also t. Does that make sense? Because she left at 9 and he also left at 9. So they both left at the same time, so t is the same. If he left at 10, he would be t minus 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going to be 40t, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now, would you agree that if the two cities are 210 miles apart, let's say Adriana is over here, and let's say Dad is over here, okay? And Adriana is going this way, and Dad's going this way, and they meet somewhere in between, right? The whole distance, right? This whole thing is 210, right? So in other words, Adriana's distance and Dad's distance together equals 210, right?
That
Okay.
does make a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. So in other words, Adriana plus Dad equals 210, right?
Mhm.
So we're going to say exactly that. Adriana, 30t, plus Dad, 40t, equals 210. 30 plus 40 is 70, equals 210. Divide by 70, and t equals 3 hours. Now, 3 hours. Be careful because it says what time did they meet, right? What time did they meet?
That's
Well,
basically like a keyword.
right? So in other words, if they left at 9 and it took them 3 hours before they met, what time was it when they met? 9, 10, 11,
12.
12. They met at 12 o'clock noon, right?
But yeah,
Does that make sense?
plenty.
Fabulous. Okay? All right.
Now can we do my question?
I can, but I wasn't ready for it. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to discuss that with you after we're done with the video. All right. This question comes specifically from the one who asked the question. All right? So I don't know if you want me to share, so I'm not putting your name out there. All right? You're going to read this?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
A particular style of earrings cost the retailer $85 per pair. At what price should the retailer mark them so he can sell them at a 15% discount off the original price and still make 40% profit on his cost?
Now, this is a bunch of blah, 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 blah. All right? And the only way, thank you very much, the only way to do this is to break it down. Break it down. Okay? So, here's the key. All right? The key is we have it's $85 per pair. All right? That's what it cost the retailer, all right? And of course, retailers boost their price so they can make a profit, right? Well, here, all right, he wants to be able to sell them at a 15% discount and still make 40%. Well, in my last video, I talked about percent. And the question is, what would 40% of $85 be? So, if I did 40% of $85. Do you have your calculator, Adriana?
Yes, I do. Right here on my phone.
0.40. If I'm not mistaken, that number is 34. Could you do 85 times 0.40? 85 times 0.40 is 34, right?
You are so right.
I am so right. Now,
it was 34.
Okay. So now, if he wants to make $34, right, that would be 85 plus $34, right? 85 plus 34 should be, if I'm not mistaken, $119, okay? Now, here's the thing. In my last video, I talked about discount, percents and discounts, right? So if you wanted, for example, 40%, right? If something was 40% off, what I told you was 40% off of 100% is 60%. So if we wanted, let's say something was $80, okay? And I told you to multiply that by 0.60, that would be 40% off, right? And that would be $48, right? That's just an example, okay? So now, here's the thing. In this problem here, all right, now he wants to make a number so that he can make a 15% discount and still have this 119 amount, okay? So he needs, after a discount, to be 119. Wait, what? In other words, right, here's what's got to happen. Meaning, we need some number here, right, times 0.85. 0.85, what the heck is that? 15% discount, right? 100% minus 15% is 85%. Meaning this number times 0.85 has to equal the $119. So how do I find out what this number is? Adriana on her calculator is going to do this for me. I don't know what this number is, so to get this number, I have to do 119 divided by 0.85. What is 119 divided by 0.85, Adriana?
140. 140.
140 exactly?
Yes.
$140.
That's what
Okay.
it says.
So, in order to find this number, all right, if it's a 15% discount, that means I want 85% to be this number. So this times 0.85 has to be the 119. So I have to do 119 divided by 0.85 to get this number, which is the 140. You've been watching the Weiss Channel Special Edition with Adriana. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Whoop.